Hey everybody, Sean McInnes here, and today we've got a very special interview. We are actually visiting the studios of Valve Software here in Bellevue, Washington to take a look at a brand new campaign in Left 4 Dead 2 called Hard Rain. I'm joined by my old friend, Chet Falasek, writer on Left 4 Dead 2. Chet, you doing well today?
Doing well. Good to see you again, Sean, and we've seen each other enough that you actually know how to pronounce my last name, so that's very nice.
I do. It's fun. It just rolls off the tongue. So we're taking a look at that new campaign today, Hard Rain. Can you set the foundation for that? How do those other campaigns lead into this one story-wise? I know you guys have said that story is a new focus for the sequel.
Yeah, so we're actually starting the Hard Rain campaign where Swamp Fever ends off. You meet Virgil, the man who helps you escape on his boat, and he needs some gas for his boat, some diesel, and you guys, there's a gas station right there along the shore, one of those little towns along the rivers, and you're going to go run and get some gas. It's a milk run. It's easy.
Street. We could have already been there and back by now. Come on. Excuse me! Excuse me!
Of course, the zombie movie, nothing quite goes as planned. You forget your gun bag at first, you forget the flares, the signal, old Virgil back again, and of course, the gas station's out of gas. So instead of the simple run to go get gas, you actually have to go traverse through the whole city and through the actual old sugar mill to go to a working gas station.
Can we not shoot each other, please?
Young, stop! Hunter's got Ellis!
So this one introduces some new elements to Left 4 Dead 2, which are weather effects. Hard Rain, obviously, it's not just a catchy title, there's a lot of rain going on, right?
Yeah, correct. So the first time when you start, you actually go through the city and the sugar mill. When you get your gas, you have to come back, obviously, because you want to go back to Virgil and the boat. But as you're coming back, the weather's picked up, and all those years you're going, you'll see the weather get worse and worse, but definitely it turns the corner as you're heading back, and you'll actually see storms come up out of nowhere. And you'll get a little hint that you'll see some lightning, and you'll realize, oh, we've got to find some cover really quick because the hordes will come when the storms come. And so all of a sudden it'll be blinding rain, you'll barely be able to see, you got to really stick close to your buddies, and then there's just swarms of zombies come. It's especially bad as you first start coming back. There's a big cane field that you have to go through, which is very similar to the cornfields Blood Harvest, and we all know how hard those were to go through. So it added a storm to those, and they become really difficult.
So one of the other things that you guys are doing new with this campaign is you're not just going from point A to point B, you're sort of going from point A to B and back to A again. What was the inspiration behind that design decision?
We really wanted to give the players something they're familiar with but turned on its head. So as you're going through the first time, you kind of can note some landmarks. There's a garage sale in the city. There's a playground. There's a couple other things inside the mill itself. But on your way back, walking through the land isn't nearly as easy because there's all this water from the rain. And so this swampy movement will slow you down. So you actually want to take some higher roads. And you'll notice all of a sudden what wasn't apparent the first time through is there's all these other routes you could take over the tops of things, on rooftops, on top of the big containers they have at the mill and stuff. And so you actually take those routes back most of the time, unless you get pulled off by a smoker, of course, and you're back in the muck and plowing through there. And so we wanted to be able to give you this thing that you're familiar with, but yet not familiar with. And so you'll definitely see teams kind of struggling with, should we just run through the water down the middle of the street, or should we keep to the rooftops? And in Versus, of course, the infected are all about knocking off those rooftops and back into the water and slowing you down.
You got to learn to shoot.
speaking of the water, let's talk about how that affects the gameplay. There's some obvious ones like, hey, you know, Molotov cocktails probably aren't going to work, but there's some less obvious ones, which is the fact that once you get into that water, you're kind of trudging through and you can't really run, right?
Yeah, so then you have things like when the charger comes charging at you, it's a lot harder to get out of his way. The other specialists are just able to really kind of come in and attack you a lot clearer, and so you really just have to keep on your toes, and really you really want to stay out of the water. And we give you a lot of different alternate paths through the city, a bunch of different buildings you can move through. You can choose to go through second floors, first floors, you know, kind of however you want to navigate it. It's really wide open.
Hey, run! Fire coming!
Shooting me? That's some crazy shit.
Hard Rain felt pretty sadistic at certain points. I noticed there was no shortage of witches on this campaign.
Yeah, it seems the witches kind of like the sugar mill. They enjoy the scent of sugar, I guess. Actually, during development, we had some of the other developers would send us bugs that, hey, I got 3 witches here. This seems broken. And then it's like, no, this is by design. And they're not just regular witches. They're not just sitting down, not moving. They're actually wandering around. So you'll see it's like guard formations almost of you having to try to figure out, oh my God, you know, how are we going to go through this? How are we going to avoid setting off one? Because we set off one, we're probably going to set off the other. And often you kind of have to just sit and wait and let them pass, and then you can work your way through.
Each of the campaigns in Left 4 Dead 2 has its own sort of unique, uncommon common. Which is the one that we see in this one?
Well, so the sugar mill was actually being torn down and scrapped. So we have a lot of workers with their worker gear on. You'll see they're actually wearing reflective tape, which is helpful in the storm. But they're also wearing hard hats and air protection. So, A, they take a lot of damage. B, those earmuffs stop them from hearing pipe bombs. And while if you throw a pipe bomb and there's only 1 or 2 of them, it's not a big deal. But as you get right into the heart of the sugar mill, you'll get swarms of these guys. And all of a sudden your pipe bombs don't work, and you actually have to use something like the boomer bile to fight against them.
Jockey!
Need some help!
Get up, get up, get up!
All right, thanks.
Come on.
Now, I noticed that in Left 4 Dead 2, some of those 5th chapter finales are you're sprinting from one spot to another, which was different from the first one, which was just, you know, you're in a standoff, you're holed up. But in Hard Rain, it kind of returns to that Left 4 Dead style standoff at the very end, right?
Yeah, well, so we have you go up on top of a burger tank and you turn the sign on, and that's how you're going to alert Virgil. And we wanted to give you a throwback kind of to that, but it's not quite, because normally in Left 4 Dead 1 we would give you multiple places that we thought were good to hold out. You could have your backs against the wall here. This is a solid defense. Here we actually give you no place that's actually very good to hold out. The roof of the burger tank's actually been ripped open, so there's a giant hole in there. All the ledges end into being torn off into the water. Tanks can send you flying. And inside the burger tank itself is just a maze of chairs, so it's hard to move. So we give you what feels like the old style, but almost it's not, because you really have to just leave yourself really open on the roof of the burger tank fighting off the infected.
Reloading!
And we also got to play a little bit of the new Scavange mode, which you guys talked about a week ago. When you first showed it off, you were showing the motel map, which is sort of cramped little area. There's not a whole lot of room to explore. But the maps we saw from Hard Rain while playing Scavange, they were a lot more spacious.
Yeah, so there's 6 total maps, and they're all played differently. And we kind of wanted to have this variety of, so if you like, for example, in Hard Rain, the first map we played, the Milltown, if you decide to go down one route, there's a really long, far way to go to get the farthest cans. And there's points where you're just not going to make it in time. So you have to kind of really strategize how you want to do that. Well, when we play the motel, you can see all the cans pretty close by, and it's really which ones you want to go at in which order. So, you know, it's just different on each of the campaigns.
right. Well, Chet, you are absolutely the best Scavange coach that I have played with so far. I wish everybody watching at home could be so lucky to play Scavange with you. Chet, before I let you go, can you tell us when is Left 4 Dead 2 going to be available in stores and which platforms?
So Left 4 Dead 2 will be out this November 17th on PC and 360, and if you pre-order, you'll get access to the demo October 27th.
All right, Chet, thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
There you go. Left 4 Dead 2. Stay tuned for more coverage over the next few weeks.